You are connected to everyone on Earth, but how closely? They say you're just 6 people away from meeting anyone on the planet. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you, this isn't just a myth, it's a mathematical truth hiding in your phone, your DMs, and even your daily life. I'm Carl, and today we're diving deep into one of the strangest, most mind-bending experiments in human connection, the 6 degrees of separation. Long before social media feeds and friend requests, a fascinating question about human connection was explored not with algorithms, but with paper and postage stamps. This whole idea started with letters. The year is 1967, and the world feels vast, disconnected. But, was it really? A controversial and brilliant social psychologist, Stanley Milgram, decided to find out. He was fascinated by what he called the small world problem. How is it that we can feel so connected to total strangers? He devised an experiment, elegant in its simplicity, to map the hidden pathways of our social universe. Milgram sent hundreds of packets to randomly selected individuals in Omaha, Nebraska, and Wichita, Kansas. Inside each packet was a letter, but it wasn't addressed to the recipient. The goal was to get this letter to a single specific man, a stockbroker living over 1,000 miles away in Boston, Massachusetts. But here was the crucial rule: participants couldn't just mail it directly. They could only forward the packet to someone they knew on a first-name basis, a friend, a relative, or an acquaintance. The hope was that each person in the chain would act as a link, moving the letter one step closer to its final destination. Each recipient was also asked to mail a postcard back to Milgram's lab at Harvard, allowing him to track the chain's progress. Now, it's important to note the experiment wasn't perfect. Critics rightly point out that of the nearly 300 letters sent, only about a quarter actually reached the target. Many chains simply fizzled out, the letter lost or the next person unwilling to participate. This low completion rate means we can't definitively say the results apply to everyone. But for the letters that arrived, the results were astonishing. The median number of intermediaries was just 5.2, which rounds up to a nice, neat 6. Most letters reached the Boston stockbroker in about 6 steps, and with that, a powerful cultural idea was born, immortalized in a play, a movie, and a trivia game: the theory of 6 degrees of separation. The experiment suggested that anyone on the planet is connected to anyone else through a surprisingly short chain of acquaintances. Fast forward to now. The digital revolution didn't just speed things up, it fundamentally rewired the planet. The slow, uncertain chain of letters from Milgram's era has been replaced by a global, instantaneous network humming with trillions of digital handshakes every single day. You don't send letters, you send DMs, snaps, and comments. You don't just talk to friends, you follow thought leaders, join global communities on Discord, and share moments with family on the other side of the world through WhatsApp. Each interaction, no matter how small, is a new thread woven into an unimaginably vast and intricate social fabric. But the same fundamental rule applies: we're all connected in a massive, invisible web. This isn't just a metaphor anymore, it's a measurable, data-driven reality. And the data tells a startling story. In 2016, Facebook's data scientists analyzed the connections between its 1.6 billion users. They crunched the numbers on trillions of friendships, and found that the average degree of separation between any 2 people on the platform was just 3.57. Not 6. 3.5. Meaning, you and your favorite musician, a scientist you admire, or even a world leader, are likely only about 4 people apart. It's a mind-bending thought. Of course, this number comes with a caveat. It only accounts for people on Facebook at the time, and having a connection doesn't mean you can actually get a message through. But it proves the proximity is real. Other platforms demonstrate this in different ways. Even LinkedIn proved this. It's literally built on this concept. It visualizes your network, showing you second and third degree connections, turning the abstract idea of 6 degrees into a tangible network of professional opportunity. The platform's entire value proposition is that the person who can offer you your dream job is closer than you think. The small world isn't just a theory, it's the engine of the modern social and professional landscape. So, the old chain letter experiment was a fascinating glimpse into our social fabric, But it was slow, analog, and had its flaws. What happens if we test this theory in the age of the internet with its instant global connections? To find out, we didn't need to mail any letters. We built a simulation. Let's start with the basics. Imagine a digital network of 8 billion dots. Every single dot represents a person on Earth. Our goal is to connect them, but not just randomly. We need to build a network that realistically mirrors human society. To do that, we need to define the rules of our simulated world. First, we set the average degree, a term from network science for the average number of connections each person has. Studies on platforms like Facebook suggest this number is higher, but for a baseline of meaningful connections, people you actually know, we set our simulation to 50. If each person knows around 50 others, and those 50 know 50 more, the network grows exponentially. In just 2 steps, you're connected to 2,500 people. 3 steps, and it's 125,000. By the time you get to the 6th connection, the math suggests you've theoretically reached over 15 billion potential contacts, more than enough to include everyone on Earth. That means a chain of just 6 friends of a friend could connect you to literally anyone, whether they're living on a tiny remote island in the Pacific or working as a scientist at the South Pole. But here's where it gets more complex and more realistic. People don't connect randomly. We form clusters, your family, your co-workers, your old school friends. These groups are highly interconnected. This tendency is measured by the clustering coefficient. A high coefficient means your friends are also likely friends with each other, creating a dense local bubble. If everyone only had friends in their own town or profession, our global network would just be a collection of isolated islands. To bridge these islands, we introduced a crucial final parameter: rewiring probability. This is the random chance that a connection will break its local bond and form a new, long-distance one. Think of that friend you made while traveling abroad, or a contact you met at an international conference. These are the rare, random links that act as shortcuts across the globe. They are the secret sauce that makes the world small. Now we run the simulation, and here's where it gets weird. Our AI simulations consistently show that the and of your connections matter far more than the sheer quantity. On the left, you see a network with high clustering and few long-distance links. It's an echo chamber. Trying to find a path from one side to the other is nearly impossible. The network collapses inward, but on the right, with just a few connections rewired into those crucial bridges, the entire structure transforms. Your reachability skyrockets. The world becomes small again, not because of how many people you know, but because of how different they are. This phenomenon isn't just sociology, it's network physics. Mathematicians call it a small world network, where every node is just a few hops away from every other. It's the same pattern in neurons in your brain, power grids, and even protein chains. Everything in nature seems to crave connection and efficiency. It's like the universe itself is wired for networking. So what does this mean for you? It means your world is smaller than you think. Your dream job, your favorite creator, your idol, they're not galaxies away. They're just 6 messages away. Maybe the person who'll change your life is a friend of a friend, and maybe, after this video, you'll be the connection someone else needs. I'm Carl, and remember, we're all connected, closer than you think.